Hey, this is DJ Mega age 17, and today I am here to bring you a chapter review of Bleach. But before I get into the chapter review, I have to mention this. First and foremost, this is my first chapter review of anything, pretty much. And I am planning on doing chapter reviews of Bleach and Naruto for the rest of the month. To pretty much test out the waters of whether or not I want to continue doing this, because a friend of mine also wants to do chapter reviews of One Piece with me, so yeah, right now I'm just doing it. I'm just testing the waters out, and this is something I'm gonna be doing for the rest of the month. So anyway, let's get into the chapter. All right, so I'll be reviewing Bleach Chapter 561 entitled "The Villain," which, by the way, I should mention too is that the title of the chapter does not appear until like toward the end of the chapter, which is really stupid. But this is something I've been noticing has been happening since Bleach came out of its hiatus a few months ago. So now you have some chapters where the title page it doesn't appear until like toward the end of the chapter. But I don't really like that because when it does that, it makes you feel like there's more to the chapter, and then you turn to the next page and it's like, oh, it's over. So it kind of just leaves you wanting more, or at least it leaves me wanting more. But I digress. So anyway, I'm just gonna give my overall thoughts on the chapter. So what the chapter pretty much with starts off as a pissing contest between Kensei and the Mucha Lucha Quincy of about who's the strongest. Although I'm pretty sure we can all guess who the strongest is, the Luchador Quincy, because well, he's bigger and bulkier. So after Kensei, gets out of the ground, he gets immediately beat down to the ground again, and this time he's down for the count. However, hope is not lost because Rose then shows up already with his Shikai release, slices James, that little guy, in half with his Shikai, and then immediately releases his Bankai, which I'm happy he does. First and foremost, I'm happy that we have a new Bankai release in general, something we haven't seen since Unahana's Bankai release, which, by the way, was one of the most underwhelming Bankai releases that I've seen in this arc so far, and in general. But then again, the whole Unahana fight in general was just, ugh. I might make a future video about that because that pissed me off to no end. But I digress. Anyway, his Bankai is, I think it's pronounced Kinshara Bardodan, Bardodan. I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't do good with pronunciations like this. So you guys can leave a comment on how to pronounce some of this stuff because I know I'm gonna butcher the crap out of it. Alright, so his Bankai is a musical illusionary sound based Bankai. And his interpretation of it is called Dance Trope of Death. You pay a fee. Your fee is your life. Yeah, sounds pretty deadly, right? Well, his Bankai, when he uses it turns into an army of vine people, which is interesting because this is something I really wasn't expecting from Rose. So I wasn't really expecting much from Rose's Bankai in general. But then again, I didn't know what to expect from his Bankai. I mean, it was a whip. What else could you really do with that? But now looking back at it, this honestly could have been more obvious than I don't know. But then again, I really wasn't looking too much into it to be honest. But I'm still happy he released it. So yeah, so it's called the Death Trope of Death, and there are three acts. The first act is called Sea Drift, which is pretty much like a tidal wave or whatever. And the second act is called Prometheus, which is like a fire explosion. And before you can get to a third act, the Luchador Quincy asks him how can he use both water and fire. Then Rose explains that it's illusionary and it messes with your the whole sound thing with your ears and stuff. I don't want to get into it. But he pretty much said if you think you're getting burned, then you will get burned. Um, so there. All right. The third act is called El Helden Leben. Leben. I'm not sure exactly what it does, and I know I just butchered the name of that too. Yeah, I don't really know what it does, so you guys can explain that to me too. So yeah, the first one's like water based, the second one is fire based, the third one is unknown to me anyway. However, after Rose uses all of that, it really does little damage. Like it does damage, like it bruises the Luchador Quincy, but he just quickly brushes it off, and then he uses a laser from the star of his mask, and then shoots it at Rose, and what looks like it might have split him in half. And then after that, Rose is pretty much just down for the count, which annoyed me because this is now the third visor to go down. Two of them went down by the same guy. And the thing is that all three of these visors that went down are visors that got re-promoted back into captains. And technically, they should be stronger than captains since they are visors, people with hollow powers. Which is the thing, which is something I don't understand, which is the fact that, alright, we know that Quincy's, they're weak against hollows. So why didn't they hollow fight at the beginning of the fight? Why are they dicking around so much? Why didn't Shinji just release his Bankai when he had the chance? Why didn't they use this supposed full hollow thing that they can do? Because they said they could kind of do that too, like Ichigo did. So why didn't they use that? If they went straight Bankai and full hollow at the beginning of the fight, they would have easily, well, maybe not easily, but they would have had a more of an advantage of taking these guys down because obviously fighting Shikai isn't enough, and the other thing too is that a lot of these guys waited too long to release their Bankai. Shinji didn't even release his Bankai. We still don't even know what his Bankai is, so that pissed me off. And the way things are looking, he's not going to be revealing his Bankai anytime soon now because he's down for the count. And it is sad because if you look on YouTube, like if you look at the anime community when it comes to when it comes to Bleach, and you actually find when it comes to the visors, a lot of people don't take the visors seriously anymore because first of all they got crapped upon in Fake Car Town. Like they just they done horribly in that arc. And the one time they could actually get redemption, they don't. They just get beat down again. So it's like reassuring people like, yeah, they're crap. They suck. Because that's what a lot of people think of them now. They think they suck. And I was hoping that they would get some type of redemption, but I guess not. Even if, which pretty much tells me now that even if all of them do wind up releasing their Bankai, it's not going to amount to much now. Because Rose released his and it didn't amount to much. It's cool looking, I'll give you that. It really is. It's really cool looking, but it did little damage. Eh, whatever, I guess. It is what it is, I suppose. And so yeah, all three visors are now down for the count. And when you think all hope is lost, it's not because guess what? Reggie shows up now, and he deflects the star laser thing, and and then after that they get ready to fight, and then the chapter ends. Really, I I don't hate the idea of Reggie showing up and fighting the guy because I kind of get it. Like you could say this fight was kind of a setup fight because Reggie fought the guy before, and last time Reggie fought the Luchador Quincy, the Luchador Quincy just beat Reggie down badly. So maybe Reggie might get redemption, but I don't know. I'm not really expecting a lot from Reggie because let's be honest, Reggie hasn't been the most impressive character. Don't get me wrong, I like his character, but he's not that impressive in terms of combat anyway. I like his downright tone, I like his character, but still. And on top of that, all the captains that we've seen thus far that went into training and came back, for the most part, got crapped upon. Most of them got beat down. Even with the various power ups and new moves that they came up with, it didn't really amount to much. So, do you really expect Reggie to really do any real damage by himself anyway? Like, I know a lot of people are like really excited to see him fight again, but I'm not really. It's funny because I'm actually one of the people that's like more of a fan of him, but I'm not really excited to see him fight right now. I'm not. Because like I think he's just gonna lose. Either that or he's gonna win or it's gonna be like a bullcrap win. It's gonna be one of the two I feel is gonna happen with this fight. He's gonna either lose or it's gonna be a bullcrap win, and neither one is good. Although I guess you could say the bullcrap win is more satisfactory, but it still doesn't feel like a real win if he wins off of some dance mocking a plot hole bullcrap. You know, some he just pulls some random move out of his behind type of thing, which he has done before. So I guess we'll see his new and improved Bankai within the next few chapters or whatever. So yeah, this chapter was okay. It was decent. Not a lot happened. Well, the good news is that we got to see Rose's Bankai. The bad news is that it didn't do much. So now that Renji's finally here, I guess we'll get to see his new and improved Bankai, and we'll probably get to see Ichigo and Rukia fight soon too. So yeah, that's my review of this chapter. Leave a comment, subscribe, and have a good day.